hi, this is nice. Yeah, hi, so my name's Ben, and a lot of people think it's short for Benjamin, but no, actually it's short for Benton. I know, interesting, isn't it? Thank you, I chose it myself. And a lot of people wonder, well, why'd you pick Benton and not like a normal name? It's very simple, really. I can shorten it to Bent, and women know not to bother. Oh, this is lovely. Like, this is so nice doing like a queer gig because, you know, as I'm sure some people in here will know, it's so hard being queer today, and like, you know, there's other parts of my identity which are really hard to be. Like, you know, there's things about me that certain groups don't like. I still get a lot of like prejudice for, and I think that being left-handed is still the hardest thing. Do you see what I mean? You see what I mean? Like, it's not even registered as a hate crime. That you could do that all night, and there's nothing I can do except from probably write a strongly worded letter, which you'd know I'd do because there'd be smudges on the side of my name. But yeah, I actually had someone tell me recently that being left-handed made me a devil's minion, and that I was going to go to hell for it. Like, being a homosexual and a transgender man isn't enough to get me there in the first place. So yeah, so I'm trans. I like puberty so much, I've gone through it twice. This is currently about 5 years in the making, so as you can tell, it's going like really, really shit. It's interesting because, like I said, I'm gay as well, and before I came out as a gay man, I actually identified as a lesbian, and before that I identified as bisexual, so if we really think about it, I've completed LGBT. Thank you. It's such an interesting... Do we have any trans people in? Louder! Anyone? No, just another cool... I saw someone put their hands up, right? It's, you know, it can be fun discovering you're trans. I discovered at 14 through the internet. Nothing dodgy, it was just YouTube. I can see some people's faces looking at me like, fucking hell, what did you watch? But no, it was YouTube, and it was so interesting because I discovered a whole new community, and like, it's so baffling to try and describe this to people who aren't trans because like they will never understand how you discover being trans. But I try to liken it to, you know, when you get a finger up the bumhole, and it's like the first time you do it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah? It's like, it's new, it's exciting, it's interesting. There's something new I like about myself, but how far am I willing to go with this? And you know, people say to me, like, you came out as a lesbian, you came out as bisexual, how did you then come out to your parents? And I did this, I said, Mum, Dad, I have to get something off my chest. It's my tits, I'm a boy. I actually had top surgery a couple of years ago. Thank you for the woo. It won't pay off the 8k loan, but I do really appreciate it. My mum fucking looking at the back going, it won't. Bless your little heart. Yeah, you know, I had top surgery, I felt really lucky to have it. But what a lot of people don't know is, for a lot of trans people, before they get top surgery, is we actually wear a binder, and it basically like flattens your chest and gives it a more masculine look, right? A couple of nods, we know what it is. Like, you can get binders in loads of different colours. Like, you can get it in like white or black, hide under your clothing, nude to match your skin tone. I got green. I got green because you know what's really going to help my crippling gender dysphoria and my crippling self-esteem? Having the torso of Shrek! Yeah, it's weird actually. I had someone tell me that for a man, I looked very convincing. Right? That I look convincing to be a man. Like J.K. Rowling had turf has hired me to like infiltrate the spaces and see what we actually get up to in the toilets. And, ooh, what are they doing at this vegan cafe? And you know, as if I was her undercover cop, but I think if she did hire me, I wouldn't want the title of undercover cop. I'd actually want to be called her undercover cock. what a lot of people don't know about trans people is I'm 22, and when I was 18, I actually went through an early menopause because of testosterone. Anyone menopausal here? No, fucking look at yous. Like, no, you all either will never experience a menopause or it's years ahead of your babes. Like, you're all doing so well. It's like, but going through the menopause when you're 18 is not something I should be going through. And I went through it at the same time as my media teacher. Now, I don't know if you've ever been through the menopause at the same time as your media teacher, but I was talking in the class about waking up at night, and there's just one thing I really remember. I was talking in the class about waking up at night with like hot flushes, like, you know, does anyone here get hot flushes? Anyone? Yeah, thank you. Someone. And I was talking in class about hot flushes, and I would wake up at the same time every night, and she was at the back of the classroom, and out the corner of my eye I saw this. She turned around and she went like this. You as well. And it's like, I don't want that conversation with my media teacher. Do you know what I mean? Like I should be at 18, I should be having conversations about, I don't know, what bars I can get into when I forget my ID. Like, where's the best place to go to lunch? How can I hide my search history from my parents? Like, not the effectiveness of fucking KY jelly. It's not fair, but, you know, like I say, being trans has its perks, but at the same time, there's still things that give me gender dysphoria. There's still things that get to me. One of them being my hips. I think they're what older women call childbearing hips. And it's really interesting because I feel like my hips give me away. So I call it the Shakira theory, because my hips don't lie. The other thing I feel like gives me away is actually the way I pee in the toilet. Now bear with me. For trans people, it's difficult to go to the toilet, right? And I think that like when I sit down and pee, that the way my piss, splashes the water underneath gives me away, because if you have a penis, you're splashing the porcelain at the back of the bowl, and I think people can hear that and then they'll suss out I'm trans, and then I'll get beaten outside of the toilets. So it's a bit far-fetched, but I actually discovered recently that if it was to out me, it's not the angle at which I hit the toilet bowl that gives me away. It's the fact that I fucking hit it in the first place. Like, if you use the men's toilet, you're fucking vile, right? Like, I feel bad if I don't leave a pube behind for the next person. I'll talk about my family a bit. Like I said, some of my family's here, my mum's here, my sister's here, and my sister's fella. If you can't spot him, find the only straight person in the audience. Look, he's wearing a fucking North Face cap. He does not belong! He's going red! He doesn't know what to do when the gays come for him. He doesn't know this much attention. He's never been to GOI. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's capable of. He doesn't even know if he could be a top or a bottom. He's just there in straight bliss. No, he's all right. We'll let him in for this one. But yeah, my family, you know, they're here. They're really supportive. They've been supportive through a lot. You know, my transition, my sexuality, my emo phase. Has anyone in here ever had an emo phase? You're fucking lucky, yeah? What do you mean? Yeah. God, it's like some post-shock that's happening when you have an emo phase, right? Right? It's like, but who else in here has had an emo phase? Right, we're all suffering the post-shock, okay? I stretched my ear, put a Batman plug in there because it's what my 14-year-old self wanted. And do you know what? My 22-year self didn't. And it's like, my emo phase was so shocking that being in a mosh pit is still on my bucket list. Like, that's how shit it was. And I actually, when I was, okay, confession time. When I was about 14 and a little emo, I actually used to wear a tail attached to my jeans. Do you hear that big laughter? That's what mummy fucking remembers. Look at her, she's loving this nostalgia trip. Thanks, mum. I used to wear a tail. Jesus fucking Christ! In St. Helens. You're horrified. I lived that. It was awful. And do you know what the worst thing was about that period of my life is that because I was too scared to buy new clothes, is that my jeans never really actually fit me. So like at least I knew that when I was wearing a wolf tail, there'd always be a full moon in front of it. So bad, thank you. So it's so bad, and you know, I've been talking with my mum recently. She won't mind me sharing. I've been talking with her about family recently, and what if I was to start my own? What would she do if me and my partner had children? And she says, oh, I'd love that, you know. I'd love to be called a nan. I think that's a really important thing. I'd love to be a nan. It's like, Mum, I've already got 3 fucking pet rats. Is that not enough for you? It doesn't make sense. To be fair, like, I don't know if anyone here has ever had rats, but my God, do they not live long. It's really interesting coming into my flat and I go like, here are the rats that are living, and here's the ashes of the ones before. Like, it's really odd. And do you know what's really bad? This is how long they don't live. The guy actually at the pet crematorium last time I went handed me my burnt fucking rat and said, see you later. And that's how fucking bad it's gotten. It's awful. It's awful, but no, I love my fur babies, and you know, they really make life worth living. Fuck me, that got dark, didn't it? Here's you to Telepram. No, thank you. It's, you know, it's been so, like, you know, if there is other trans people in the room, like, I really should say it does get better, and like, you know, again, my mum won't like mind me sharing, but you know, it was really difficult for her and my dad when it first came out. That was difficult. Did you all watch Just Interrupt Me? Have you got a transphobic watch on? Graham Linehan, are you in there? No, he's probably writing a blog about it. But yeah, like they did find it difficult at first. They did find, you know, me going on testosterone hard, and it's hard to find representation of other people who've struggled. And I tried to find someone whose parents also didn't accept them at first, but really grew to like love their child. And do you know whose mum that was who kind of grew to love their child? Fucking Chaz Bono's mum. People here know who Chaz Bono's mum is, right? Yeah. Who is Chaz Bono's mum? Cher! It's Cher! It's fucking gay icon Cher! The last person we'd expect to not accept a trans person. Gay icon Cher. And do you know what I think? You know what, sometimes I do think, you know, if Cher, of all fucking people, can learn to accept her son, then I can cut my parents some slack for what they went through for me. And, you know, I know that they both stood there thinking, if I could turn back time. You have no idea how many times I've done that in front of straight audiences, and it's hurt me. You have no idea. I'm nearly at the end of my time, so I'm gonna leave you on a little note about my dad. And it was it was something I discovered. She knows what's coming, and it's not my dad. And it was a discovery I made quite recently about him, which has really changed my outlook on the man. So I don't know if people know, but when you're on testosterone, right, your teeny peeny, your magic bean. Where's the straight one, Luke? It's called the clitoris, babes. You'll find it one day for sure, that's my fucking sister as well. What a day. But yeah, so your clitoris, your teeny peeny, grows, okay? So I wanted to try and get mine bigger. So I was looking for ways to do this, and you can actually do it through a thing called pumping, which is where you get a vacuum sealed toy and you put it over your little teeny peeny and you vacuum pump it and it grows. Okay, so a bit TMI, but we're here. So I wanted to start doing this, and I thought, well, I'll ask on the forums on Facebook and see how often should I do it so it's safe, how long should I do it so it's safe. And you know, all the replies were really helpful. They were all really lovely. The trans community is beautiful. They were all really lovely, except one, which said, "Don't bother. The size of your penis is genetic, and there's nothing you can do to change that." And that's how I discovered that my dad also has a micro penis. Am I right or am I right, Rachel? Shut up, I don't want to know. You've been great, and I think because there's other trans people in the room. In fact, no, I've still been a minority here, let's be honest. But you've all been really lovely. Thank you for having me. I've been Ben Hodge. Have a great rest of your night.